Hi everybody, this is Roxy, and I am just sharing my swap for the treasure box we did on Your Paper Pantry. I already showed the one I've gotten from Elise, and mine is going to Anitra, and so I'll just get started. I actually made my box. It's a sewing kit box that I found on the Silhouette. It's an image from the Silhouette. I printed off all the papers except for the interiors. So the top and the side pieces. It's Nancy Rojanet's. She's a watercolorist. So, and then this is from her line. And then the interior is from, paper is from, if you can see it here, is from Maggie Holmes. So I just use that. And this red paper, I've had that in my stash for about, oh my gosh, I bet 10 years. Yeah, at least. And I finally use it because it's really cool. It's embossed. So this is just a little tag I made. These are the tags from what is it? Cat Scrappiness? Yeah, Cat Scrappiness. So I used those, and again, this is Maggie Holmes paper. This is just stuff from my stash. I took some old string and unraveled it, or raveled it. And this is a die from, I think I got that on AliExpress. And here's some vintage velvet and vintage lace that my sister-in-law's aunt crocheted. I think it's crochet. Either crochet or tatted, and part of my nails I've been inking up. So that's this tag. And then I just stamped on the top of that. So then we were just, the swap I found on Vintage Street Market was just to fill a little box with spools of trim that we painted, painted spools. So these are all vintage spools also, the wood pieces themselves, and some of my lace is vintage, otherwise the trims are kind of modern. This is vintage. It's actually cotton, which you don't see at all very much anymore. So that's just a piece of vintage pom-pom. This is not vintage, but the spool is. And this is from this little idea here, putting a little bead on there, is from J-Bid. I did a video on a gorgeous little Tilda fabric sewing book that J-Bid made. She's from Etsy. It's Shire Wool on Etsy, but she did this with paper clips and small little safety pins. So I thought that was cool. So, and it wasn't really about giving a yardage of trim, but just kind of making it pretty. So then I also included some pattern, and then there's more of the printed paper down there. So that's that little bin. And then I kind of wanted to pull the colors out of the Maggie Holmes paper. That's why I used some of this teal and the black and white, to make a little pop. And then this sewing box kit came with an additional or optional bobbin tote. So this, you actually make little spools to put the bobbins on, but I just used it as a button holder, and these are all vintage buttons from my stash. Thought I'd use some cool buttons. So that's that. And this is a really nice tight fit, so it's not going to go anywhere. There. Okay, and then we've got some flower trim. And I didn't put anything on the tops or bottoms. I was going to, and I decided not to. And then this, some baker's twine. And my favorite string from Dollar Tree. I just love it. It's just real nice and cottony. And then here's some more trim. And another little, just a little baby. And then up here, this is vintage trim. And that's a little vintage safety straight pin too. And here's some vintage lace. That's oops, and a little piece of hair. That's tatted lace. Look at how gorgeous that is. Oops, if you can see it, I'm gonna get this all, come on. Isn't that gorgeous? Ugh. Wonder if people are even doing that anymore. And then this is, I think this is from that little bead, I think is either, I think it's 7 Gypsies. And then I added some Dollar Tree jute. Left that. I didn't even paint this one because I thought it was cool. And then this is from Vassar, if anybody remembers Vassaret. What is with my focus here? There. This is a measuring tape to measure for your brassiere. So, isn't that funny? And that's vintage. I got that at a, I don't know even where I got it. Not even going to make it up. Because it's been years and years. I have all this in here. Okay, this goes here. Oops, that goes there. So I try to do a lot of vintage stuff for it. And then this is an idea I got from JBid. She put little scraps, swatches of fabric in the little book. So these are all, this is old toile. I don't even know where I got it. This is old eyelet fabric from my stash. This is from a blouse I made in the 70s, but it's dotted Swiss in pink, and I can't remember what I did. I think these were pajamas. Some more kind of dotted Swiss, but going through the Sizzix machine, it kind of got flattened out a little bit. This is from a dress I made in 1976. I loved it. And then this is ribbon that Elise sent me. She tied my box up with some ribbon, so I used that for the color in that. And then this is, again, the vintage velvet. This is like really old. I think this is probably velvet from like the 60s or earlier even, because this was from my mother-in-law's stash. And then these are just some pins and there. So that's my little box for Anitra. And then I did the magnet trick in the lid. So that just... And these are vintage buttons that I glued. I glued these two together and then added that one. Actually, the red one is not vintage. The yellow one is. I just realized. So that's my box. I hope she likes it. And come and join us for some fun swaps like this. It's $12 a year, and it's yourpaperpantry.ning.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.